villains. And today, I'm going to tackle the biggest, baddest villain of them all in the Bible. And I'm going to attack Jezebel and Ahab. And I'm going to come from their perspective. And so we're going to talk about some characters of the villain. We're going to talk about how to be a hero and a spiritual hero in the face of our villains. And I want to start with this story. It was in Nepal. And during about the 1800s, we had a big missionary movement that swept this world. And a lot of missionaries started going to Nepal. And two of those missionaries came to Nepal and they were one of the first few that showed up. They came to Nepal and they met one of the chiefs and they said, "Hi, we're missionaries for Christ. We'd like to come and share what we know about our God." And the chief's like, "Okay, welcome to Nepal." And so the chief actually allowed them to build a church. They allowed them to hold worship. They allowed them to preach the gospel. And every single week, the chief would have them come into their hut and he'd offer them a friendship drink for thank you for being here. A peace offering, so to say. And so, week after week, God was working in these missionaries. Great things were happening. People were coming to Christ. People's lives were being changed for the better. And every week, that chief would offer them a peace drink. And this went on for about a month. And one day, that chief comes to them and says, "Who is this God of yours? Tell me the secret of your power." And the two missionaries just looked at each other, puzzled and bewildered, like, "What's he talking about?" And they go, "Chief, what do you mean?" And the chief said, I have to be honest with you. I've wanted you dead since the beginning. Every single week, I put poison in your drinks so that you would die. But the poison has not harmed you. The poison has not hurt you. Who is this God that protects you from the poison I've seen killed hundreds of people? And they go, "Well, we serve Jesus Christ." And the chief says, "I have to know this. I have to know this God." And so they accepted Jesus Christ, and that started a whole missionary movement in Nepal. You know, every day, we're going to face a villain. Somehow or in some way. It might be somebody else. But the worst villains of all is ourselves. And so we need to know what the characteristics of a villain are so we can know how to combat it. How we know how to fight against it. How can we be the true heroes of the faith? And so that's what we're going to touch on today. And I'm going to open up to 1 Kings 21 through 1 through 29. So if you have a Bible, go to 1 Kings 21. I want you to think about this. King Ahab wants some guy's property. What the king and queen do next is shocking. Do you want to know what they wanted? Do you want to know what they did? Okay, nobody wants to know what they did. Okay, Phil, we're done. All right, I'm going to let you tell you. So open up to 1 Kings 21, 1 through 29. Because King Ahab wants some guy's property, and what the king and queen do next is shocking. Chapter 21. Sometime later, there was an incident involving a vineyard belonging to Naboth the Jezreelite. The vineyard was in Jezreel, close to the palace of Ahab the king of Samaria. And Ahab said to Naboth, "Let me have your vineyard to use as a vegetable garden, since it is so close to my palace. Let me have your piece of property. Let me have what you have because I want it." Number one, the first characteristic of a villain is beware of envy. Beware of envy. Envy is a bitter root. Envy will destroy you. This is what James says about envy. He says, "What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? You desire what you do not have, so you kill. Or you slander, you destroy reputations. You destroy the person who owns that because you want what they have, and so you want to make them look less than you are. So you kill. You covet But you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you ask with wrong motives. Wow, James just took a sledgehammer and hit up beside the head. He just smacked every one of us, right? Because I've been mean before. I've coveted before. But here's what happens. When you start to believe in something, and you start having this belief of, say, envy, coveting, and what happens is that envy starts becoming this root, and it starts developing inside of you. And then what you believe in starts becoming your character. And then your character starts becoming your action. So yes, it is important what you believe in. It is important what comes on the inside. Because your inside will start reflecting what's on the outside, or the outside will start reflecting on what's the inside. This is why Jesus told the Pharisees, he said, hey, you know what, you guys? You guys are a bunch of cups. That's what he says to them. You guys are a bunch of cups. You're clean on the outside. Everything looks great on the outside. You're perfectly clean. But in the inside, you got to go do dishes. That stuff is nasty. That stuff is gross. That's dirty in there. What's going to happen, you guys, is that dirt is going to start overflowing. People are going to start seeing it on the outside. Your character, your integrity is going to be tainted by what you're doing on the inside. So Jesus is like, hey, you got to clean the inside of the cup too. He also called them whitewashed tombs, which means your tomb looks great on the outside, but you're dead inside. You got to clean it up. You got to clean the outside and the inside up. And this is what envy does. And envy is like a gateway sin. It lets a lot of other sins in. And we're going to see that with Ahab. So the first characteristic is beware of envy. I love what Oliver Stone said. He said, never underestimate the power of jealousy and the power of envy to destroy. Never underestimate that. Never underestimate it, because it will. The power of jealousy will destroy you. It'll start your character, it'll start your integrity. Definitely destroys you. Will destroy you. So never underestimate that. So let's continue with our buddy Ahab here. So he says, let me have your vineyard to use as a vegetable garden since it's so close to my palace. And here's what he does. He says, in exchange, I will give you a better vineyard, or if you prefer, I'll pay you whatever it's worth. Oh, there's a deal going on. Oh, Ahab's going to offer me a better deal. Do you know who Ahab is? Ahab is not going to offer you a better deal. Because the second characteristic of a villain is manipulation. You've got to be aware of manipulation. That's what Ahab is doing to Naboth. Naboth, you'll see what they do to Naboth. And you'll realize, okay, he wasn't going to give Naboth anything. He's not going to buy his property. He's not going to give his property. He's just going to take it. So manipulation. So we've got to be aware of manipulation. We've got to be aware of when people try to manipulate us. Or if maybe, what if I'm the manipulator? So I'm going to give you 9 quick characteristics and signs to look for in a manipulator. Because I'm like, I got to give them something about manipulation. I've got to equip the people here. I've got to equip myself here. So I went to a website called Leslie Vernick, and he lists 9 quick signs of manipulation. Are you ready for them? Yeah. All right, number 1 is they will use guilt on you. Guilt is number 1. Number 2 is they will use misquoting. They will misquote statistics. They will misquote their own quotes. They'll misquote your quotes. Pay attention to that. Number 3, they will use bullying and threatening you. If you don't give me that, if you don't do what I say, I'm coming after you. Somebody's coming after you. Bullying and threatening. Number 4, or they'll use begging, pleading to wear you down. Oh, please, please, please. Please do this for me. Oh, come on, man. I've done you so many favors. Oh, come on. Please do this. You've got to watch out for that. It's emotionalism. That's begging. That's manipulating. Number 5, along with begging and pleading, is usually crying and sulking will come. Oh, but I gotta do this for me! My whole world's crashing down! No, it's not. You're just a manipulator. Okay. Moving on. Number 6. They'll use name calling and they'll put personal attacks on you. Why, you son of a monkey? You know. I don't know if they'll say that, but I didn't want to use the other word. Okay. Number 6. Number 7. Empty promises. Empty promises. Hey, didn't you promise me like last week you do? Oh, well, I was just stupid. Yeah, empty promises. They'll never keep their promises to you. Number 8, they'll use lying and the omission of information. And those lies will catch up one day. And we'll see that soon here in the story. Lying and omission of information. And number 9, and we see this with a lot of cults, like Jim Jones uses this, a lot of the cult leaders use this, is they will appeal to a higher authority. If you don't do that, God's going to punish you. Or if you don't do that, I have so-and-so. Or you know what so-and-so said, and they'll appeal to a higher authority. So real quick, they'll use guilt, they'll use misquoting, they'll use bully, they'll beg and plead, they'll cry and sulk, they'll use name-calling and personal attacks, they'll have empty promises, they will use lying and omission of information, and they will improperly appeal to higher authorities. If you see any of those characteristics in anybody that's trying to get you to do something, or coming after you, beware. It's probably manipulation. If you find yourself doing all those characteristics, thank goodness for Jesus Christ, right? And that we can repent and turn from our sin. This is what Jesus said. Jesus said, watch out that no one deceives you. Don't let anyone deceive you. That's why I just equipped you with that. That's why I'm equipping you with this sermon today, because I don't want anybody to deceive you. Dr. Joyce Brothers, who was a psychologist back in the early 20th century, he said this. He said, trust your hunches. They're usually based on facts filed away just below the conscious level. That's your subconscious. We also have a word for that. It's called intuition. There's an old saying that says, if prayer is us talking to God, intuition is God talking to us. If you've got that feeling and that gut feeling and that sixth sense, that is your intuition. If that thing is saying warning, warning, warning in your gut feeling, that is intuition. Pay attention to it. Something is not right. Your intuition is a great way that God communicates to you. Just pay attention to it. Listen to it. There's a reason that feeling's there. There's a reason that hunch is there. There's a reason why that intuition is there. God's trying to tell you something. God's trying to protect you from something. All right. Trust your hunches. Watch out that no one deceives you. All right, back to our story. So, Ahab wants his vineyard. He makes a deal with Naboth to manipulate him. So we're on to verse 3. But Naboth replied, the Lord forbid that I should give you the inheritance of my ancestors, because that was against the law. Leviticus clearly says, do not give up the inheritance of your ancestors. Keep the property in your family. And dargone King Ahab should have known that he's not above God's law. So Ahab is sinning against Naboth and God by breaking this law. But Naboth is being the hero and standing by what's right and true and saying, no, I'm not going to give you my vineyard. And you think Ahab just walked away and said, okay, that's great. You don't have to give me. No. Verse 4. So Ahab went home sullen and angry because Naboth the Jezreelite had said, I will not give you the inheritance of my ancestors. He lay on his bed, sulking and refused to eat. Wow, call the ambulance, right? All right, verse 5. His wife Jezebel came in and asked him, why are you so sullen? You haven't eaten anything. He answered her, because I said to Naboth the Jezreelite, sell me your vineyard, or if you prefer, I will give you another vineyard in his place. And guess what he said, Jezebel? Guess what he said? Well, I will not give you my vineyard. He didn't give me his vineyard, Jezebel. And here's what Jezebel says. Jezebel's wife said, is this how you act as the king of Israel? Really? Is this how you're going to act as the king over all Israel? Get up and eat and cheer up. I'll give you the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So here's what she did. Very manipulative. Very deceiving. Very in darkness. Verse 8. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, placed his seal on them, and sent them to the elders and nobles who lived in Naboth's city with him. In those letters she wrote, proclaim a day of fasting and sit Naboth in the prominent place among the people. Manipulation again. but seat two scoundrels opposite him and have them bring charges that he has both cursed God and the king. Then take him out and stone him to death. Wow, I told you it was shocking. So here's the next characteristic. The next characteristic is beware of selfish attitudes. Because this is what King Ahab did. He went home sulking and crying because he couldn't get what he wanted. Because he's going to break God's law, and he was going to sin against his neighbor, and he was going to sin against God. But he let that pain and the anger just take over. Now, we're going to have bad days, right? And we're going to get angry, we're going to get emotional, we're going to get sad, we're going to get upset. You know what? That's the human journey. Hey, look, even Jesus got upset. Remember the whole temple incident? Yeah, even Jesus had a bad day at work. But the Bible says something really interesting. It says, don't let the sun go down on your anger. Don't let it go down. In other words, find a positive way to deal with the negative emotions and the anger in your life. Whatever it is. Because if we are not careful, it will take over us. There are times we will have bad days, things will go our way, this is human, but we must find positive ways to deal with it. So beware of the selfish attitude that brings up those emotions of anger and unforgiveness and bitterness. Because what did Jesus say? That's going to root, and that's going to come, and it's going to shine out as your character integrity. And church, we don't want that reputation.